Kavi Viriritam Kalmashapaham Sravanamangalam Srimadatam Bhubi Grinanti E Bhurida Janaha. Today we'll be reading the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, page 518. In our last class, that was on April 2nd, that was one should stick to one spiritual path. That was the instruction of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. To realize God, one should stick to one path. That was, and we have discussed how to utilize the mind to choose the goal and also how to purify the mind. That was the topic that we discussed. But how to purify, we gave only the points because the time was not there. And this is very important. We will complete that and then we'll go to the next instruction of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna that we receive. And that is today's topic, God alone is real. All else is illusory. Now these are the main points of the Vedanta, main points of Hinduism. God realization is the final goal, nothing else. On the way, when we are going towards God, if we get some name, fame, money, prosperity, that is different, byproduct. But the main goal is to realize God. But the problem is, the moment we go for the byproducts, we miss the original thing. So these are the things we have to understand. Why? Because both are God's creation. One is para prakriti, another is apara prakriti. This para and apara prakriti both are pulling us. We have to balance and we have to choose correctly. How it is possible? By the instructions of a guru. The guru is God himself. And that is the reason the God himself is coming down as Sri Rama, Sri Krishna, Sri Chaitanya, and like that, one after another, in different time. Here, this time, in the modern age, you find Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, and he is giving us this instruction. Choose one path, stick to that. Why? God alone is real. Now, how to do it with your mind? The mind is again thinking in so many different ways. We are attracted to the worldly things. So Suddhikarana, they say, you have to purify the mind. How to purify the mind? In the last class we discussed that. First is, I am using the Sanskrit words, Shraddha. What is the Shraddha? The firm decision to realize the truth. That was the instruction. Firm decision to realize the truth. And that is Shraddha. And the definition of the Shraddha that we find in the Shankaracharya and others, that Shastreshu Guru Vakyeshu Shatta Buddhi Avataranam. Shastreshu and Guru Vakya. Guru is the preceptor, the instructor to whom I am going and listening from the Guru that God alone is real. And I am believing it, accepting it. But before believing, I am also judging it. And when I am judging, I am going to other references. And who are the references? Aptas. Who are the aptas? Realized souls. How to understand whether they are realized or not? By looking, by seeing, by examining, by testing their life. The personal lives, one after another. If we understand this point, it becomes very easy for us. The moment you realize God, all other things, everything becomes completely null and void. No. I don't want it. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna giving an example. When a baby wants to go to the mother, she only goes on crying, mother, mother and mother. Nothing else can satisfy. Maybe the mother's sister may come, maybe the grandmother may come, the father may come, they may be given her or him many things that he or she likes, but she won't look at those things. So that is called, no, I need that mother and nothing else. And this way, when we are having the Shraddha, the self-confident also, I am going to realize God in this life. How the self-confidence will come? On the words of the Guru, God may be realized. And the Guru's word I am examining with the Apta Vakyas. Previously also all this. So the scriptures are the record of the realized souls. And the Guru is also telling the same thing. Then I test in the life of the Guru, the same thing is reflecting. What is that thing that is reflecting? Love and completely unselfishness. The pure love for each and everyone, and purely unselfish, no discrimination. And that is the sign of spirituality. If you understand it, becomes very easy. Shankaracharya, in the very first sloka, he said, Manushyattam mumukshuttam mahapurusha samastraya. Manushyattu we can understand, mumukshuttu we can understand, but how to judge the Mahapurusha? How to judge who is the good person or not? I cannot enter into his mind. And he says so wonderful things. How to judge? Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, you must see the sadhu at the day and also in the night. Then only it is possible. That means you must thoroughly observe the person. How to observe? Whether he is having the attachment to the worldly things or not. If it is having, know it for sure, it is not possible. Whether he is having the discrimination or not. Oh, those people are ours, they are not ours, you should not mix them, you should not talk to them. That means he has not realized God. So this way we can understand, and one who has realized God is full of love, and love has no boundary. Love cannot judge. So that shows that this person is a realized soul. If a person, after realizing God, has become so wonderful, think of the God. Realizing God means a little understanding about God. You cannot understand God completely. Now think of the God and this marvelous thing, love and unselfishness and the joy and eternity. So after that we are taking the decision, yes, I am going to realize God. So firm decision to realize the truth. This is the first step. And second step comes Vairagya. Vairagya, what is that? Root out the attachment to sense objects. This is the second step. Jahan Ram, tahan nahi Kaam. Jahan Kaam, tahan nahi Ram. Very simple. If you have the desire for this worldly enjoyment, you cannot get the God. If you get the God, there won't be any desire for the worldly sense objects and all this. So they say the second step, you have to withdraw your mind from the sense objects. Slowly, slowly you are withdrawing, and that is called the Vairagya. Root out completely. There should not be any attachment. Completely root out the attachment to sense objects. And in the Yoga Darshan we find the definition of this Vairagya, Drishta Anusravika Vishaya Pritishnasya Vashikara Shanga Vairagyam. When we are studying that our Yoga Sutra a few years back, you were studying this, we discussed on this. Drishta anusravika. Drishta means I see myself. And then I am attracted to those things. When I see different type of buildings or the cars or many other things, and the advertisement means provoking you to have those, enjoy those. I was seeing that advertisement, they say the summer is approaching and you can go and enjoy these. What is the enjoyment? Going inside the water and catching fish whole day. That is the enjoyment they are having. Some people, they like that. In a very secluded place, all alone, up to this is the all rubber dress, and they will go and they will catch the fish. That is enjoyment. If you feel that that is the enjoyment, that's for you. So here it says, Drishta anusravika. When I see something, I have to judge what I am going to get by this, and only for a few moments. And then what? Anusravika, sometimes we hear about, if you do this, you will go to heaven. Heaven is this, heaven is that. Anusravika. This by listening, by hearing. And I'm agitated, I'm attracted, I like to grab that, I like to enjoy that. And what happens? Mind goes to that. And when mind goes to that, then there is no peace at all, no happiness at all. So, adrishta anustravika, vishya britishnasya. But one thing we should remember, when we are living, we need something to survive properly. That is also true. Simply we cannot say, some people maybe, they're monks, they're leaving the hearth and home, and then they are living under the tree. But what about the householders? What they will do? They cannot simply deny this thing. It is not possible. So what they should do? Whatever they are praying, they should offer it to God too. Oh God, protect my children. Children is mine, but oh God, you protect them, please. Oh God, give me something so that I can live in the society in a proper manner, nicely. And so that in a comfortable body and mind, I can dedicate myself to you. That prayers also can be done. So the mother is asking this. Why not? Once this happened, to one elderly lady, she went along with the Thakur, Sri Ramakrishna, to Calcutta, to a rich man's house. And after all that talk that Swami, Sri Ramakrishna used to give, after that when he is returning back, they gave something to that widow lady, elderly widow lady. She was not having anyone. She used to live all alone. And they knew she is very pious. So they gave that, a bundle of things like rice, this, that may be useful for her. And she was very happy thinking that at least for a month I am now. Now Sri Ramakrishna noticed that. And he never liked the things that we carried back. He didn't say no to her, but he was going on glancing to that bundle. And she understood that Sri Ramakrishna is not liking it. She was very much afraid. But what to do? She never wanted to take that also, but at the same time, she is not accepting. The person who has given is a very respectable man. They may feel insulted. So she carried, brought it to Dakshineshwar, and ran to Mother, Ma Sharadamani Devi, and told, the Gopal may be angry because I have accepted this gift from that person. I wanted to throw it to Ganga, but I was thinking if the news reaches back to that gentleman, he may feel insulted. Now, what shall I do? And what shall I do? Immediately the decision of the mother. What Sri Ramakrishna knows about this? We have to maintain the household. People are coming to us and sometimes we have to feed them. And for your own, you have to go and beg from this person and that person. Now you have got at least 1 month's provision. You need not to bother about that. You can concentrate on your prayer and meditation. It's good. Take it. What he will know, even the God, Mother is telling, what he will know. And this is the way the Mahamaya, she knows the best. So here, when we are talking about, it is the ultimate philosophy. When everything that has gone away, your mind is completely free, then you should not go and take up a puppy or the cat and then you develop that relation and how can I go to that ashrama because I have a puppy to look after? That is all bondages. That one should not do. When you are free, make yourself completely free and available to God only. That's, they say, drishta anusraviga. I see this thing, but I don't want it. When I listen to something, I don't want that. What I want, only God. So a little bit of things that will support my body, and then all the time I'm dedicated to God. And you know that narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, they say, that is another thing. It's a Greek mythology. They say a person was beautiful, very good, very handsome, but he never knew that. Then one day he went to a pond which is very calm and beautiful, the water, and he saw his own reflection on that water. And he loved that so much, his own reflection. But he loved that so much, he never wanted to leave that image of his. He started living by the side of the pond. And by that way, one day he died over there. He never came back. He loved him so much. That is the personality, they say, is an excessive self-importance is given. That is a disorder of the mind. Sometimes some people, they go and look at the image in the mirror and they start loving it, particularly the politicians, the powerful people, when they listen about from the other people that they are good and they are good, they started thinking that everything that I am doing is good. And this is the disorder, NPD, they say. And Vairagya can only save them, otherwise not. Everywhere they like to see their own picture. Everywhere the tyrants they are born out of this disorder. Only me, only me. In the present day situation also, among the world leaders, we find some people are like that. Why? They only like themselves and nothing else. This is the mental disorder. But so much of attachment, this personality, this vanity, ego, prestige, power, and no feeling for others. And this way they are attached to themselves. They are peculiar. They are attached to themselves. They are not having anything else, only to themselves. And this is also, it is possible to come out of that through Vairagya. So what is the Vairagya? Root out the association. Some people are criticizing you, okay, it is up to their problem. What I am going to do? I should not go to every individual to say, oh, I am good, why you are criticizing? Some people are praising you, it is up to them. What I am going to do with that? So this detachment is very, very essential to realize God. When Sri Ramakrishna said, just hold to one path and realize God. No, God alone is real. There is only one sentence. But if you go deep, you see how difficult it is. To stick to one path, you have to understand what actually truly the path is and how I am going to realize God. What is God? How I will purify my mind, because mind is constantly dragging me down to the world. So from the world, when I am trying to save my mind, is called purification of the mind. Then third is called the Tyaga, renouncing all the results of the action. Tyaga means renouncing the result of the actions. Not the action itself, result of the actions. And when you do and complete and forget, who is enjoying that? Your own mind. You are completely free. You don't bother about anything. So you have done it perfectly, as best ways possible you have done, and then you say, no, that much. So that is called the Tyaga. Tyaga doesn't mean that you have to renounce. For the sannyasins, both. Mentally you have to renounce, physically you have to renounce. That is called sannyasins. For the householders, grihis, renunciation is mentally. And how you can renounce mentally? Without the attachment. That attachment, if you are not having, you are free from all the problems. So this is called the Tyaga. Then comes the fourth one, Nishtha. The faith in the existence of Brahman, consciousness. That's called Nishtha. There's sometimes some people will say, do you think God is there? And sometimes the scientists, they will come and they will completely prove you there is no God. It cannot be. Sociologists will come. They will say, no, there is no God. Some people are so good in proving in that way, and you are carried out by that. And some people will come and say, God means this, God means that, God needs that you should go and kill them, God needs that you should fight them. Thorough confusion. Majority of the people are just like that. Why? Because they didn't know the first thing, that the Shraddha, how the Shraddha is coming, my faith is coming after Vichara. What is the Vichara? If God is pure love and unselfishness, then the result of realizing God must be love and unselfishness. This is very clear. In that case, when someone is coming and asking me to fight with others in the name of God, I can raise the question, I can go and fight when you are asking me, but this is not the God's work. This is not for God. This is for you, okay? I am under you, I am working for you, I can go and fight, but never in the name of God. Don't say that. That is called Nishtha. Nishtha means complete faith. The faith in what? The Vedanta say consciousness, and the Bhakti say God. Finally comes your practices. It's only theory, but what about the practice? Upasana. Upasana, the practice of the Mahavakya, for those who are following the path of jnana, and practice of the God's name, mantra, every time, all the time. That is called practices. You know, the two Swamis were traveling. That was in India, eastern part, Swami Gahananandaji and another Swami. So suddenly when they were traveling there, another car came and stopped and said, get down as quickly as possible because your car is on fire, it's going to burst. They didn't notice, even the driver who was driving. So it was on fire. And they immediately opened the door and came out, jumped almost. When the one Swami jumped, hey, what is it? How to go? He was shouting like that. Gahananandaji said, Jai Sri Ramakrishna, and then jumped. Afterwards, the first Swami, he said, Gahananandaji must be practicing japa all the time, 24 hours. When the God's name didn't come to me, occurred to me at that time, he very quietly said, Jai Sri Ramakrishna, whatever happened, God knows. This is the practice. Unless and until you practice it, it is impossible. I have seen with my own eyes the Swami. He was that time in charge of a hospital. I was sitting in his office. I went there to meet, I'd forgotten for what. He was there, and then suddenly a group young boys they came, and one boy, hardly 22 or 25, he was telling Gaunandaji, I like to go and meet my father. Gaunandaji very calmly, he said, and very agitating way, roughly, he was shouting. But Gaunandaji, very calm and quiet, your father is in the ICU, you cannot go over there right now. When he comes out, then you can go. No, he may die. Somehow I have to take the signature, because all the property he has given it to my brother. And I have to take his signature. I have made all the paper ready. Only allow me. I will take the signature somehow. Gaunandaji told, oh, father will give the signature, okay? And of course, he is the father and you are the son. That is your obvious business. But the thing is, let him come out of that and all. This was going on. The boy went out. Within half an hour, the gentleman passed away. There no chance of taking the signature. This boy once again came back and he was banging on the table and he was throwing this thing and that thing. Gaunandaji, as usual, very quietly, oh, he passed away. Oh, this time you didn't get the property. As if nothing, next life you will get. Try for that. So this time you didn't get the property, right? No problem, you are a grown-up boy, you can earn yourself. He was going on giving the advice while the boy was shouting, abusing, criticizing. So how this calmness, and that is the work. Anyone will be there, immediately they will call the police. Of course, when they were shouting, the guards came and other people came and took care of the boy and asked him to go. But at that moment, at least more than 5 minutes, I was so much verified, I immediately went by the side of the Swami. If he is going to assault the Swami as best as possible, I'll try to protect him. So I was thinking in that way, I went by his side. When everything was over, then he said, are you afraid? Not for me, for you. Oh, I was thinking that you were taking shelter behind me. He was joking. So see, the son, he is not loving his father. He loves the property of the father. When the father is dying, then only he has come to take the signature. Can you imagine? And this is the world. So this we can understand. This is the world. Sometimes the people are going and throwing their parents, elderly parents outside. Maybe that they are not in a condition to take the responsibility, but still. So this only Upasana can save us. What is the Upasana? Prayer, prayer and prayer. And how the prayer will generate, how the prayer will genuinely come out? The first thing, Shraddha, the faith. These 5 steps, when we analyze, we find how wonderful it is. When Sri Ramakrishna said, stick to one path, any path, but with a pure mind. And what is the pure mind? Purification of the mind through these 5. Shraddha, Vairagya, Tyaga, Nishtha and Upasana. These are the 5. Firm decision to realize the truth. Then second, root out the attachment to sense objects. Renounce the result of the actions. Faith in the existence of the God, the Brahman or consciousness. And practice the Mahavakya, or the name of the pure name of the God that the Guru has given to you with great faith. Now Sri Ramakrishna is telling the spiritual seekers, Nivritti alone is good and not the pravritti. Again, one sentence. Nivritti and pravritti. What is nivritti? This is the para prakriti of God. What is pravritti? Apara prakriti of God. The nivritti and pravritti. Ni vritti. The vritti means the waves of desires. What is the yoga? Controlling these vrittis. And the vritti means, in the Sanskrit word vritti, is the wave or the bubbles of the water as we see. It's coming up, one after another. And if you go to the ocean, you will see that the waves are coming one after another. And then sometimes we say, oh, after this big wave, it must be lull. Nothing, another. It never stops. It goes on and on and on. So like that, our desires also constantly going on. When you grew up a little, and we could understand this is the desire. Those desires were a little different. Then the more you grow, the more different type of desires, till the death. No cessation of the desire. And desire for what? The worldly things. I want this, I want that, I want that. But after achieving all those things, still the desire. Why? Because I am not satisfied. There was a beautiful story in the Bhagavad, Yajati, the king Yajati. He had a great desire and he wanted to fulfill it. In all his life he enjoyed. That was not sufficient. He took the loan of the lifespan of his own son. Even then that was not also possible. Then ultimately the man became wise and he said, Najatu kamo kamanam upabhogena samyati. Kama kamanam. The desire cannot be satisfied by enjoying the desire. It cannot be. Another desire will come. Upabhogena. After utilizing that, using that, satisfying that, you cannot stop it because another type of desire will come. So those who are on the path of God, those who are trying to realize God, the people are following the spirituality, what they should do? Root is the desire. And desire are two different types. One for the world and for the God. So here we find the pravritti and nivritti. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, nivritti is good, not the pravritti. Where from they come? Pravritti and nivritti. And we find over here in the Bhagavad Gita, the 7th chapter, it says, 7th chapter, 4th verse. Sri Krishna, the God, very clearly he is mentioning Bhumi, Apa, Anala, Vayu, Kam, Mana, Buddhi, Revacha, Ahamkara iti yamme bhinna prakriti ashtada. 8 different types of prakriti. 5 and 3. What are the 5? First is the Bhumi, the earth. Then Apa, the water. Anala, the fire. Vayu, the air. And Kam, the ether. Along with that, Mana, Buddhi, Cha means and Ahamkara. So of 5 plus 3, these 8, they are my Prakriti. Who said? God himself. And what type of Prakriti? That binds you. And what type of binding? Sometimes they will take you to joy and then bring down to the suffering, joy and suffering again and again, again and again. It goes on and on and on and on. So joy and suffering, joy and suffering. Bhumi, Apo, Anala, Vayu, Kam, Mana, Buddhi, Revacha, Ahamkara iti yamme. These 5 are there. But how to enjoy those 5? Then they say that your mind and your intellect and your ego, that they will enjoy. But suppose, let the 5 be there outside. Kam, Mana, all those things. The Bhumi, Apo, Anala, Vayu and Kam. Let this 5 be there. If I can withdraw my mind, control my mind, what will happen? Then all those things, even if they are there, cannot affect me. I don't know whether you have seen it or not. When we were children, and in front of our schools, there was some type of people that used to come with a small box. They'll be pulling that box, and there were many small holes. If you go, they will open the hole, you can see like this, and they will go on playing. there will be music and different type of pictures will pass. That was so much attractive. We used to go and give them a small coin, 1 or 2, I've forgotten, and we used to look at that. And when it is over, again another coin. Same thing we sing, but we are enjoying. Sometimes the guardians will come and drag you from there. So once you go out of that, but once you are away from that, then you forget. Then again, there's something else. So if these 5 things, this earth, the water, the fire, the air, the ether, let the 5 be there. I control my own mind. I cannot control those things. Why should I go and control the whole thing? If I can control my mind, that is sufficient. Everybody is feeling cold. I am also feeling cold. Shall I go and stop the wind? Is it possible? Or the snow, is that possible? I cover myself. When I cover myself and then there's a heater, fine. Let there be snow and the wind, no problem. The same way we have to withdraw the mind. So it says like that, my prakriti is there, including your mind and your ego and also your intellect. So what we are to do? Purification of our mind. The purification of our mind in the same 5 ways. First we have to take the decision, and this prakriti is called Maya. Prakriti also they say Maya, and we find in the Upanishad they say Maya Shakti Divida, Vidya and Avidya. Those who are studying the Vedanta, they must have learned this, Vidya and Avidya. And the same way, Para Prakriti, Apara Prakriti. And Avidya means it is binding, Vidya means giving you the freedom. And what is Vidya? Only understanding these 5 things that is before me are temporary. So I am not going to accept that, though it is made of God. It is nothing but God who has created these, but I should not accept that. Then the next verse, in the 7th chapter, 5th verse, Bhagavan himself is giving the idea about the pure Prakriti. Apareya mitastanyam prakritim vitti me param. Know about my higher Prakriti, me param. Param means the higher. Me means mine. What is that? Apareya, next, another, higher. How is it? Jiva bhutam mahabaho ya edam dharyate jagat. Jiva bhutam, it is sustaining the whole universe, all the jivas. The very life element is this, Jiva bhutam. Mahabaho means he was addressing Arjuna. Oh hero. Why hero? Because to understand these, you need a strong mind. Otherwise, it is very difficult. All over the things are so wonderful, so attractive. So you have to understand all those things that I see are all false. I don't know whether you have seen that the fireflies, the smalls of fire, if you go to the villages, you will find the fireflies so beautiful everywhere. But if you go and catch them, they are not that beautiful. If you go inside that, it's terrible. From distance it looks so good. When it is all sitting on one bush, as if the whole bush is burning, so beautiful from distance only. But in reality, it is not. And sometimes if you look on that another vast field, it's all green. But if you try to run over there may be holes. There may be the marks, they are not that good. So everything appearing in 2 different ways, apparently good, but in reality it is not. So we have to understand that. So God said, Jiva Bhutam is the very life element by which the universe is sustained. What is this universe? These living beings. Now, how it's sustained? By the consciousness. If the consciousness is not there, nothing is there. So that is God is telling, now you should be very, very careful. Then you find that Sri Ramakrishna is advising. He was talking with the other. Other was arguing, they bless me so that I get a good job. And Sri Ramakrishna told, you are already a deputy magistrate. And he used to earn 300 rupees in those days as a salary. Most of the people used to earn 5 rupees. Those who used to earn that 10 rupees, they were rich people. And this man is earning 300 rupees. But he wanted to get a job. By that he could earn 1000 rupees. So he said, if I get that job, Sri Ramakrishna said, you are already having 300 rupees. Oh, much higher than many, many others. Then he was giving that. In our village, I saw a deputy. He was having a turban on his head. Only the respected people should have the turban. All others cannot put on the turban. So the turban, with the turban, then on the back of the horse, they used to come. And people will be so much afraid seeing him. He was a deputy. I have seen him. You are also a deputy. Must be having that power. Why again you are going? Because your time is wasted. Sri Ramakrishna was trying to pursue his disciple, put your mind towards God, and the living God was there. Instead of going to the living God and asking God to bless him so that he get the freedom from this. This man has come to God to take the blessings so that he can be more bound by more name, more fame, more responsibility and worldly things. So this we should understand. Today we are sitting over here and meditating and praying, oh God, please reveal thyself before me. And in those days they were having that same God with them, they couldn't recognize him. Only thing they knew, that is the holy man must be having some miraculous power. If he prays for me or bless me, I will get those things. But they could not understand. So Sri Ramakrishna going on, so many people insisting. They are also on behalf of that person, they are coming and requesting Sri Ramakrishna, why don't you pray to Mother? It is nothing but your prayer, that's all. Sri Ramakrishna is going on saying, no, he is getting 300 rupees, that is sufficient. So this way we have to understand about two type of Prakriti. God is trying to help us not to be bound by his Apara Prakriti. If we don't understand that, then there are suffering. God is trying to help us to say that Apara Prakriti is also mine, but that will bind you, my son. Don't do it. And go to the Para. That will give you the complete freedom, the joy, the happiness. So these two only. And what is that Para Prakriti? God alone is real. All else is illusory. Why he was insisting other not to spend his time for the higher job, rather stick to this one. If you read those pages constantly, and other is going on giving the argument. And suppose the Narendra, if he gets a job and 10 rupees, and then he gets a job for 100 rupees, what do you think? The Narendra will go for 100 or 10? Because he used to love Narendra. So he was putting Narendra's name before Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna told that, don't think about that, because Sri Ramakrishna knew Naren. So he was confident. He said, don't compare it to Naren. You won't understand now. He was going on talking in another way. Naren was given the opportunity also. He was also thrown to the temptation when the young boy was not getting food. And he had no money to support his mother and brothers and sisters. And he, in those days, a graduate from Calcutta University, was not getting a job. Can you imagine the graduate of Calcutta University not getting a job in those days? All Maya was going on. Then ultimately he went and took refuge in Sri Ramakrishna. Sir, please pray for me. And you know that. And he said, no, I am not going to pray for you. You go directly. Why? For two different reasons. First, to develop faith in the existence of the God in image. God in image. It is also possible. The Hindus, they worship God not that they are fools. God can manifest in that image. Sri Ramakrishna proved that. Narayana was not accepting. So he forced him to go and see the God in the stone image. That's first. Second, to test. When he goes and stands face to face with the God, what type of desire comes in his mind? Oh, make me the king of this world. Asuras, they used to pray like that. And so these two, Narayan went, Narayan saw the Mother, the Divine Mother, all-pervading consciousness, taking the human form like the Ma Kali, and standing over there. It is not the stone image, it's all consciousness. And Sri Ramakrishna was noticing what type of prayer. Immediately the prayer was only, give me jnana, viveka, bhakti, devotion, and all this. Not once, thrice. So when he was comparing Narayan with him, Sri Ramakrishna didn't talk to him. So you won't understand. So this, again, he is telling that it is better. Sri Ramakrishna is praying to the Divine Mother. Oh Mother, please change the direction of my mind right now so that I may not have to flatter rich people. So Sri Ramakrishna giving his own mental condition because he was thinking to organize, and then he said, I should not flatter the rich people, oh Mother. Why? So this is a very important instruction for each and every one of us. We think this man or that man is helping? No. If the God wills, from anywhere the support will come. Sure. And God is very choosy. He won't take money, He won't accept money from some people. We are thinking, oh, he is having so much of money and he is donating that money to this and that. Maybe that he will give to us. We go and approach, but if God is not ready to accept the money from those people, they will simply say something else. They will never. So this Sri Ramakrishna himself is telling, I pray to the Mother, oh Mother, please change the direction of my mind right now so that I may not have to flatter the rich people. Why? Faith in the existence of God. God is there. And being a monk, what I am going to do? God's work. And to whom I will go to pray? God. And if the God is willing, some help will come. If the God is not willing, I won't do the job. And nothing is going to happen. Whether I do that or not, the world will remain like this. If I do some good work, only my mind will be purified. If I can do that without the result that I am accepting. No result. Without hankering for the result, if I do that work, my mind will be purified. What is that to God? And if God wills only, then it is possible. And to other he is giving. He used to love others so much. So he is giving the advice. Be satisfied with the job you have. That will be sufficient. The other was the sufficiently well-off person. Then Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is mentioning, you are an executive officer. Now in the last, I am skipping all the conversation. You are an executive officer. What shall I say to you? Do whatever you think best. I am an illiterate person. The Sri Ramakrishna is becoming humble. This is called the Maya. The God himself is standing before the person. But that person couldn't recognize him. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye. Yatatam abhisiddhyanam kaschin mam vetti tattata. Only a handful of people, they will try to realize me. Even among them, only a little percentage can realize me. Why? Maya, that is constantly, the Sri Ramakrishna was giving the advice. And then suddenly he is going back to the cover of the Maya and said, I am an illiterate person, what can I say? And you are a magistrate, you are an executive officer, do whatever you think best. Why these things God is telling? Because our ego. Even when the God is appearing before us and telling, even then we don't like to listen. So that today we are discussing that our mind is our enemy. This enemy constantly provokes us to go to the world because it's so beautifully decorated over there. Like the fireflies, from distance it looks so good in the dark, and when thousands of fireflies sitting on a bush, it's so beautiful. But in reality it is not beautiful. The same way we think so many ways, but it is not. So the God then will say, oh, you are not listening to me? Okay, no problem, continue. I am an illiterate person, what can I say? Other understood it. But I do not know whether spiritually or not, as Sri Master Maharshal, the recorder of this conversation, he understood Ramakrishna so nicely. And the author is smiling, and then he is telling to the devotees, now he is examining me. He is examining me. The author could understand that Sri Ramakrishna, giving the ball to his court. So now he, and Master smiling, he said, God alone is real, all else is illusory. Friends, we will discuss this particular point, how we can see that God alone is real. And when we do the vichara in the Vedantic way, we go to a particular, ultimately they say, the Vivek 210th verse, it clearly mentioned, Panchanam api koshanam nishede. Nisheda, by denying. Panchanam api koshanam. You know the 5 sits, Annamaya, then Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. These 5 sits, nishede, when they are not, then what remains? And when we stop those things, how you stop? They say, Juktita Srutehe. By analyzing and Srute, because of the Vedic dictums, Vedic instructions, and the words of the Rishis, they're also telling the same thing. I accept that, and also I judge by these 2 ways. I understood that Nisheda Abadi Shakshi Bodharupa Avashishyate. Then when these 5 sets are not there, then what remains? There must be something on which only we saw these 5 sets. I saw the Annamaya Kosha. On what? Chaitanya, consciousness. I saw the Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha. On what? On Chaitanya. Then when these one after another up to the Anandamaya Kosha 5 sits are over, what remains? Only that consciousness. And that consciousness is also known as Shakshi. So when we come to that point, we understand, oh, that Shakshi is nothing but the pure consciousness, and that pure consciousness is nothing but the God from the viewpoint of the devotion. So the devotees, they call that consciousness as God, and the Jnanis, they call that consciousness as Brahma. So when Sri Ramakrishna said God alone is true, God alone is residing inside us, that God is nothing but that consciousness. Thank you. Next Tuesday again we will discuss. Niranjanam Nityam Anantarupam Bhaktanukampa Drita Vigraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamidyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha. Shanti, Shanti, Hari Om, Tat Sat, Sri Ramakrishna, Arpanamastu.